President Biden issued an executive order on Tuesday that aims to increase the number of background checks to buy guns, promote better and more secure firearms storage, and ensure U.S. law enforcement agencies are getting the most out of a bipartisan gun control law enacted last summer. The Democratic president discussed his latest efforts at curbing gun violence in a speech from Monterey Park, California. In January, a gunman stormed a dance hall in the community near Los Angeles and shot 20 people, killing 11, following a Lunar New Year celebration. The president called the shooting a tragedy that has pierced the soul of this nation.
This executive order helps keep firearms out of dangerous hands, as I continue to call on Congress to require background checks for all firearm sales. In the meantime, my executive order directs my Attorney General to take every lawful action possible to move us as close as we can to universal background checks without new legislation.
The executive order directs the Attorney General to increase background checks by cracking down on gun sellers who don't perform them when required, with the goal of moving us as close as we can to universal background checks without new legislation, as Mr. Biden put it. The order also directs federal agencies to improve public awareness and promote the use of red flag laws, and instructs the Attorney General to release more information about federally licensed firearms dealers who violate the law. It's common sense, Mr. Biden said in his remarks. The directive further instructs the Pentagon to develop and implement principles to further firearm and public safety practices through the Department of Defense's acquisition of firearms. Mr. Biden's rhetoric has only grown stronger around guns. He routinely calls for banning so-called assault weapons in his speeches, and Democrats didn't push such a vocal anti-gun platform even during the Obama administration, when Mr. Biden was vice president. But Mr. Biden has been emboldened by the midterms after his regular talk of gun control didn't result in massive losses, and he's expected to continue to push for strong changes as he inches toward a 2024 run, his aides say. Mr. Biden invited Brandon Tsai, the 26 years old who wrestled the semi-automatic pistol away from the gunman in Monterey Park, to his State of the Union address and praised the young man's heroism, which he reiterated in Tuesday's remarks. His power is limited to go beyond bipartisan legislation passed by Congress last summer, the most sweeping gun violence bill in decades. It followed the killings last year of 10 shoppers at a Buffalo, New York, grocery store and 19 students and 2 teachers at a Uvalde, Texas, elementary school. Mr. Biden's order mandates that his cabinet work on a plan to better structure the government to support communities suffering from gun violence. The plan calls on Attorney General Merrick Garland to shore up the rules for federally licensed gun dealers so they know they are required to do background checks as part of the license. Mr. Biden is also mandating better reporting of ballistics data from federal law enforcement for a clearinghouse that allows federal, state and local law enforcement to match shell casings to guns. But local and state law enforcement agencies are not required to report ballistics data, and many do not, making the clearinghouse less effective. And the president is asking the Federal Trade Commission to issue a public report analyzing how gun manufacturers market to minors and use military images to market to the general public. Mr. Biden is also directing his cabinet to make sure law enforcement agencies understand the benefits of the new law, particularly around red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders, which are intended to temporarily remove guns from people with potentially violent behavior and prevent them from hurting themselves or others.